when you spoke about your injuries and stuff like that, I seen that you posted you spent over $150,000 in rehabilitation for an injury. So does an organization have like a budget that they're willing to spend on an athlete before they're already looking for a replacement? Or is that something where you already know that as soon as an injury takes place, you might have to start spending some money out of your own pockets because the organization is already thinking about a backup plan for you?
I think that the wisest thing to do is understand how it all works, understanding workers' comp, what the team can do for you, and what you can do for yourself. I think that the teams always put limits on you. They only gonna do the bare minimum and then expect for you to get on the world. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to seek the outside help. So you're gonna have to pay a little bit. But to be honest with you, everything's pretty much included in our insurance, man. We got probably one of the best insurances in the
world.
Career, yeah, like literally. So you can get a lot of stuff paid for through insurance. But that 150 grand came with me when I knew pretty much. Just a little background on it. I had 3 bilateral sports hernia repairs, and then I ended up having a hip surgery. When that hip surgery went bad, I had a bitter breakup with the Packers. I already knew my time was done. Flew out to Seattle to go visit them, fill my physical. I'm like, man, what the hell going on? They was like, that hip just don't look right. And I'm like, man, it's straight. I just had surgery, just a little swelling. And they was like, nah, we don't know. Left from Seattle, flew to Detroit. They failed me. I called my agent. I said, man, I'm not going on another visit till we figure out what's going on. Flew from Detroit straight to Tennessee to go visit a specialist. He was like, man, the only way you stepping on the field is if you had surgery. Flew straight from Tennessee to Minnesota to one of my best friends who deals with over 150, well, actually at this point now it's probably like 450 NFL clients, and he's anti-surgery. So everything that he does is to get you back on the field and not have surgery, because a lot of people understand you don't always have to have surgery.
Yeah.
And literally one of my best friends, man, his doctor is everything to me. And he literally was at his house, sat back in the chair and looked at me. He said, man, I've been doing this for 20 years and I never had to look at somebody and tell them like, you might as well just stop.
Oh.
So I laughed him off. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm finna walk into a $40 million deal. You ain't finna tell me I'm finna be done. So I was like, all right, whatever. And I took it on my own, man. I went and got a Regenicon injection. That's 20 racks right off the rip. A couple stem cells, them 10,000 a piece. I ended up getting on this real expensive diet. That was $10K. Spent $17K on the machine. Ended up souping up my hyperbaric chamber in my room. That was another $20,000. So I was already in it, just trying to get myself back on the field. I was doing stuff that, people could never even imagine, like literally sleeping in the tube. So, yeah, man, I pushed it to the limit, but I went to go chase my daughter up the stairs one day, stepped on the step, hit one out on me. I sat down on the step, and I was like, you know what? If I can't even play with my kids, I'm not going to go out there and give nobody no half-ass product. I'm too prideful for that. Most dudes probably would have took that check and kept getting injections. Had the hip surgery 2 years later. Ain't no amount of money in the world worth it for me to miss my kids' childhoods. So I'm like, I found another way. You know what I'm saying? So it was about 8 hard months, and I was going through stuff with the NFL as well. They was trying to blackball me for some bullshit that I got caught up in that really ain't had nothing to do with me. But it was a lot. It was trying, and I was like, you know what, man, I gotta put my best foot forward. So I didn't quit, but I just knew when it was time, and there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I felt like I quit, and I don't like quitting. So that's probably why I don't sleep now.
You seem like that. You recipe out shit.
Look, I'm gonna go get it at all times.
Sad.
If you don't mind, take me through that moment of when you're running behind your daughter, and you're on those stairs and you feel that. Was that something to where you knew at that moment what you were going to do? Or was it a thing where it's like, okay, you went and consulted with other people? Like, how quick did you arrive at that conclusion? Like, okay, this is it.
Man, it didn't take no time. I had been in it for at that point, it was about 7 months. And I was training and my hip was still giving me problems. And, I hadn't worked out for maybe it was like over the weekend. And that's usually when your body get a chance to rest. That's when you feel at your best. And I hit that step and I said, man, you know what? It's not worth it to me to continue to go through this. And I probably sat there for about 10 minutes. My daughter looked at me. It's like I wanted to cry. But at the same time, it was like you're crying for 2 different reasons. You're crying because you're going to have to, let something go. and then you crying because now you got to start something new and you don't know what to do. There's no plan for you after football if you don't create one. It's not like you got somebody, they tell you, but I mean, you making millions of dollars. You tell me how many people you going to listen to. Well, you need to plan for these. Nigga, I got millions of dollars in the bank. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like, for me, I was like, man, about 20 minutes after that, I called my agent and told him, he was like, man, you got to be kidding me. I said, well, I mean, we'll see when the season rolls around and you see I ain't really about to try to fly out there and sign no contract. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was at peace with it. You know what I'm saying? I had made my decision. I was like, I'm cool. I can make this shake. I'm smart. I got 2 degrees. I'll figure out something else. You know what I'm saying? So, and I saved a lot of money living in Green Bay. I ain't spent too much of nothing. Material things, they never did it for me. So I never had a lot of shit to just, I ain't blow money on jewelry and cars and stuff like that. So
yeah.